Welcome again to this lesson. On today's lesson, we will be looking through how to create our first program in Python. So we'll just be dealing with how do we get around creating our first program. Previously, we learned what kind of software we're going to need in order for us to run Python. So let's now learn how do we create our first Python program. So what you will need is your PyCharm running, and you will need to go to File. So the same way you know how to create projects on Visual Studio, or even if you are new to programming, what you will do, you will go to File, and then you will look for an option which says New Project. So we need to create a project. A project can contain so many files that we can run on Python. So we're going to click New Project, and then it's going to ask us some few questions on how this project must be created, right? So this PyCharm can only work if Python has already been installed, right? So we've already talked about where to install Python by going to python.org. So this should be the first software you are installing yourself. So that's what is happening. Install this software first and be able to navigate to PyCharm. When you are creating a new project, it will pick up that Python is already installed and it will not give you any problems. Right. So here I will just call this first project. Let's call it first project. That will be the name of the project, and then I will just click create. So it's asking me, do you want to use a new window? Because I've been using PyCharm for a few times now. But in your case, if it's your first time, it should not give you these problems. Okay, so now it's preparing the environment for me. Remember, this is an IDE. It's similar to Visual Studio. It's similar to Eclipse. It's similar to what is this other one? There are a few more that you can find, that NetBeans, Notepad++, they are very similar, but we'll be using this one to program our Python programs. It's a bit simple in terms of processing. So while it's processing like that, I will advise that this is the time you must be on your code, trying to do what I'm doing exactly. You do not have to pause. You can easily just minimize this video and start programming. I will let you know once my environment is ready. Okay, so my environment is ready. There are some few things that are loaded immediately with the latest PyCharm, which I will want all of us to go and remove because we don't know what's happening. We've never written any Python program, so I'm just going to highlight this. So what it does, when it creates a project, it also creates a specific file for you, right? And this file, it's called main.py. Py is an extension for Python. So this basically means your main file, right? This is where we will find your main file. So let's quickly just remove that. There's also a bullet here that you can click to remove. So just click that bullet in order for you to remove it. I will want to look maybe for the font so that you guys who are watching this will be able to see this. I'm not sure if it has got a shortcut already. I don't think so. So I'll just continue increasing here. It doesn't have to be that much. If there are any who already know what is the shortcut of increasing the font on Python, please put it on the comments. Which one is the shortcut to increase the font? I have not yet figured it out what is the shortcut to increase the font on PyCharm. Okay, I think this will be enough. So we will want to create our very first program in Python using PyCharm. So how we're going to do that? We're just going to try to print the famous program of Hello World. Right? So Python has been created to be made so easily so that it's understandable. It's so related to English, and it takes some form of mathematics at some stages. Right? So it should be very easy to understand this. So unlike any other programming language, in Python you can easily say print, then in brackets you mention whatever you want to print. So here I want to print Hello World, the famous Hello World that we find in most programming languages. And then already this is a running program, right? There is nothing more that we need to add. We just need this statement to be executed. So I'm going to now just press main here. I can press main and it should be able to run, or I can configure it, or go to the run button and then say run main, right? So for it, there we go. This becomes the output now, right? So this is the output. Do you see the output of saying hello world? There it is, right? I can change even hello world and put my name here and say hi Tendo, right? So now I'm just going to say hi Tendo and then press this other shortcut for running. There's a play button here which is for running the main file, and then once I run it, you will see the output changes from hello world to hi Tendo. So whenever we want to print something on the screen, we want to say something to the user, we will use the word print, right? It should be able to print something on the screen. So we can even have another line here which prints a different things. So in brackets we can put today is Friday, and then if I execute this, it should print hi Tendo, today is Friday. It is as simple as that. There is no magic, no function needed. Python will just work, right? And most of you have been to programming before. You could be wondering, why is it that we don't have a semicolon here? You are used to semicolon on almost every stage of the program. Will it work if we include semicolon? Now let's see if we execute this. It will still work, right? But this is very cautious. It will bring you warnings. As you can see here, you've got two warnings, and those warnings are saying trailing semicolon in the statement, right? So Python is a very forgiving programming language, if I should put it like that. This should have been errors already, because Python does not work with semicolon. For it to identify that the line has ended, it uses what we call next line. So the next line in Python, you simply end the line simply like that. You don't include anything else. Okay, so go ahead and practice mentioning other things. You don't have to practice only using the statement I've used. Include more statements, write sentences, write long statements, and see if you will be able to go around running this Python program. Okay, that brings the lesson on how to create our first program in Python to an end, and I shall see you in the next one. We'll be looking at more syntax for Python.